Right, I want to show you what we can do with with another type of attribute type, and that's a text attribute, so a text field. All right, so typically, that might be the name of the product. That would be a text field. So you just want to really just a few words or a line of text. But they can be used for other reasons as well. And in this scenario, what we have is again, looking at our suitcase, we want to have an attribute that represents the capacity of the suitcase. So typically capacity on suitcases is, certainly in Europe, is measured in litres. So we want to be able to have a field that represents that. So I'm going to go and add a new attribute. And this time round, when it comes to the name of that attribute, I'm going to call it the attribute code. I'm going to call that capacity. Right. Once again, I'm not concerned about the scope at this stage because we're just assuming it's just on a single store. And you can see here when I look at this, we've got drop down there, and I'm going to use text field mainly because of the absence of anything else that is appropriate for this. Because what I want the operator to do is when they're inputting the data, is I want them to put in rounded up figures, so in whole numbers. I want them to put in the litre capacity of the product. And looking down here, there's nothing really that fits that except text field. So I select text field. I'm not worried about default value, and I'm certainly not worried about unique values. What I'm interested in is here, where it's got input validation for the store owner. So as it stands, if I save this and then apply it to an attribute set, as it stands, what will happen is the operator can go in and they can type in 20 litres. They can type in 20.5 litres, which again is not what I want. But they can actually type all of that out. And what we want to do is basically that we want them to just be able to put in a number. So if I look at the options here in the validation, you can see we have decimal number, integer number, email, URL, letters and letters, A to Z, and numbers 0 to 9. So we can restrict the characters that are used within that text field when they're entering the data. Right, so we didn't want decimal points, so decimal number is not the right one because we could still do 20.5 or 20.4 litres. Integer number, although it may not be clear to most people looking at this, integer number is actually a term which is used for whole number. It's very much a technical term. It's something that developers use and accountants use. It's not really that widely used in the kind of real world, if you like. But integer number basically means whole number. So just replace that in your head. Integer means whole number. Okay, so I'll select integer number. Again, products to apply to, I'm not really concerned about, and then visible on the front end, I want that to be set to yes. So when we do apply these to our attribute set, they will be visible on the front end. Okay, come to the labels, and again, I've just got a label here. But what I'm going to do this time with the label is I'm going to make sure that I qualify what the unit is that's being used. So I'm going to say capacity, and then in brackets, see there, I think I've typed before, in litres. Okay, and again, I could change that for the front end, but I'm not going to. If I save that, and there you can see that we have capacity. And again, I'll show you the results of this when we start looking at putting these into our attribute sets.